Hello, it's Keith here, and once again we've got Grime Z80 on the screen here, but you can probably see it looks a little bit different this time. Well, what's changed? Well, it's running on a new system. This is the Camputers Lynx, and that's quite interesting for Grime Z80 because the Camputers Lynx is capable of 8 colours on screen. Of course, Grime Z80 has run on 16 colour systems before and 4 colour systems, but the Camputers Lynx is kind of different to the other systems I've looked at because it's capable of 8 colours in every single tile. It's not any kind of palletized system. So, well, what's it taken to get the game working on this system? Well, of course, I've had to rewrite the graphics routine for the tile map. I've had to rewrite the text drawing routine, which I'd already done for my Hello World example that I'd looked at before. And I had to rewrite Chibi Sound, which is my sort of common sound driver. But actually, the Camputers Lynx is basically the same as the Spectrum. It's capable of setting volume levels, which the Spectrum isn't. But I basically copied the code, added some volume functions, and that was it. Of course, I had to read in the keyboard to make the game playable, and I did that by just modifying a copy of the Amstrad code, rewriting it to use the Camputers Lynx data ports, and just entered some good key settings as the default, and that was it. And basically, the game pretty much worked from there on. Now, I have done a little bit of optimization of the graphics code just to get it as fast as I can, because as I say, the Camputers Lynx uses 8 colours compared to the CPC's 4, and the result is that it's actually pushing around 50% extra data, which does make it a little bit slower, and also the way you have to bank in the memory does slow things down a little bit. But I think this is very playable. I don't think I wouldn't have any complaints about playing a game at this speed, so I think it's worked fairly well, and it's promising for the future. If you don't know, I've been doing Grime Z80, Grime 6502 and 68000, and the resulting code base is going to be the sort of basis for the next game I write. I'm planning to do another game that's nowhere near as complex as Chibi Akuma's, but the reason I'm doing that is I want to make a game that actually is viable on a very large number of systems with a very widely differing level of technical ability, the systems, that is, not myself. So I want to create something simple enough that I can really target a huge number of systems. So Grime Z80 is going to be the sort of template with regards to the structure and the basic graphical routines, and then I'll be building on that to try and make something a bit more enjoyable than a simple game like this. But I mean, that said, Grime is very enjoyable to play for a quick go. You can see though that the game is running pretty fast even with all this stuff on the screen. So it works very well. I'll just kill myself so you can see that does actually work as well. You can see the Grime descending here. So yep, the game works very well on the Camputers Lynx. It's not taken too much time to reprogram it. I only spent about 4 hours today. I did some optimization of the tile code. The original one was about 50% of the speed. I did a very crude version and then sort of really looked at the code and rewrote it to solely do tiles essentially. And as part of that, as often, the trick in some ways is that my sprite editor has done a lot of the work for me. So I've set the top 8 colours here to the Camputers Lynx colours, coloured my tiles, but then I created an exporter that would export in the format that was most optimised for the drawing routine to need as few registers and as few memory swaps, because you have to do bank swapping to get to the different colour planes on the Camputers Lynx. So let's just have a very quick look at the code then with regards to drawing the tiles, because I think maybe that's a little bit interesting. So on the Camputers Lynx, there are 2 banks you have to page in, one for red and blue and one for green. And you can see I'm using the shadow registers to do that paging here and here to get this one gets the green in, and then this one turns them off so that everything's back to normal for the program to return. Now you can't really use push and pop at the time because you risk corrupting the screen memory, but I've managed to do around that. And so what we're doing here is we are loading in from DE, which is our source data, and writing to HL, which is our screen memory. These lines are hexadecimal 20 apart, so we're using C to move down a line very quickly. We're doing that here, just adding C to L, which will move the destination down a line. And then we are ANDing in B, which masks off the top 3 bits. Now if the top 3 bits are all 0, we've actually finished the tile. So I've managed to use that as a loop counter as such, just to sort of check if we've done all the line yet. So I thought that was quite a neat way of doing things. So this is, I think, doing the red. This one's doing the blue. They may be the other way around, it doesn't matter though. And this is the green here, and you can see we're having to page in the alternate bank of memory of video memory to be able to change that green. But basically, this is, didn't take long to do, but I think this is pretty efficient with regards to getting the graphics onto the screen. It certainly seems to be at the better end of what I've seen of the sort of, the graphical games I've seen online of the Camputers Lynx. So there's very few. The speed of them, I don't think I've seen any really faster than this, so I think I must be doing a fairly decent job. And as I say, it's not taken long at all. I mean, really, porting a Grime Z80 to a system, if you know that system really well, is not going to take long at all, because there's so little code to it. You just need to rewrite the text drawing routine, the tile routine, the joystick or keyboard routine to read some input, and chibi sound if you want sound, and that's it. The rest of the code never uses firmware or anything like that. So if you want to quickly port something, it's a really decent test game, and it's very small as well. It only needs about sort of 6 kilobytes of memory, I think, to run, and it's got its own font as well, so no firmware font problems. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to show you today. The game's now available for download. The source code is also now in a new updated folder, because the code has had some changes and I haven't fully tested it, so I'm keeping the original source code of the version that was released when Grime Z80 is finished, and there's a new version of the source code for this enhanced version that supports the Camputers Lynx. Anyway, thanks for watching today. If you like the Camputers Lynx, please like and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be doing tutorials on how to program the Camputers Lynx, going into more detail about the keyboard, the joystick, the sound routines and the graphics, because I obviously understand it a little bit now, and I think I can help share that with everyone who's watching. Anyway, thanks for watching today, and goodbye.